Let's talk about the Mulan $30 fee to
That's good
enjoy.
news. That's good news for me.
Yeah, I think it's a fair deal. $30. I understand people are hating it because you got to pay $7 a month for Disney Plus, then $30 on top of that. But in reality, if you were gonna go watch this with like your family, like this is a family movie. It's for
Yep.
families and children, probably multiple children at that. And you
Yep.
figure the average ticket is what, like $10 or something like that.
Yeah.
And if you're bringing like a family of four or even three, let's just say three, that's like mom, dad, kid. That's $30. Not even counting concessions like another $10 for soda per person. So you're looking at like $60 right there. Not even counting popcorn. Popcorn's like another $14.
Look, you're spending $30 just to get in the door.
Yeah,
All right. And then you're spending double to get all the things and the amenities that you're talking about. At least at home, you're gonna have all those amenities and things anyways. What's an extra 30 to see the movie? You
yeah,
factor in 10 a person, that's three people. You can invite more people. You and I, we got seats in our home theater. We
yeah.
got enough seats to house more than 30 people or to hold more than three people. For $30, I think it's a good deal. The reason why I said for me is because I've got Verizon and they give you a year for free of Disney Plus. So for me, it's just $30 instead of $30 plus a month. So for all you folks out there, if you are not familiar with that deal and you have Verizon, you get Disney Plus on them for a year.
Yeah, well, I pay $7. I paid up for the whole year. It was like something like $70 for a year, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But listen, they're saying $30. Remember when I was telling you I would pay $100 for a big blockbuster movie? Not that I'm
Yeah,
saying
remember
Mulan
that.
is, not that I'm saying Mulan's a big blockbuster movie for like somebody like us maybe, but for families, I could see that being a deal. But at the same time, this movie costs like something like $200 million. So, listen, they got to make their money back somehow.
Yeah, it's kind of like a under the radar release. It almost feels like because they're doing this, right?
Yeah,
I mean, the thing that people have to remember is that the old world is gone, right? At least for the time being and for the foreseeable future. The old world is gone in which you guys plan a day at the movies, or you say, well, this weekend we're going to go watch Mulan, or this weekend we're going to go watch this movie or that movie. I feel like those days are gone. And people are just going to have to work around that. And unfortunately, a film like this is going to be one of the casualties in that change, which me using those words that I just mentioned means that I don't think it's going to do as well this way as it would have done in the theater. And because we're transitioning from the old world to the new world now, the movies are going to take a hit, of course. They're doing things to keep us happy, like this. But again, like I said, one of the casualties of this changeover is going to be a couple of movies. I think this is one of them.
yeah.
It's not going to do as well as it would have done in the box office. Just
Plus,
got that feeling.
I mean, plus if you think about it, you can once you pay the $30, you own it, just as long as you're a subscriber to Disney Plus.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if you got a family of kids, Disney's one of those movies that your kids are gonna sit in front of like
cool.
multiple
Yeah.
times a day.
So the
So you,
value is there.
yeah,
It's a good value,
yeah,
but that excitement, that's like saying that, well, I won't make comparisons because people have their issues with comparisons all the time. Well, no, that's not the same thing. So I'm not even going to. But just for comparison's sake, a live the fact that an event that's a live event that you watch that day of are two different things. So you're unable to put the value behind a movie for $30 that you keep indefinitely. It's harder to bite that. It's harder to buy that when it doesn't have the spectacle that it normally would have had you gone to the theater.
yeah. This guy was saying most families don't have big screens at home. It's on TVs. Most folks have TVs as opposed to like having home theater, which still, as far as a value proposition, like you were saying, if you go watch this more than once, multiple times, and you own it for $30, I still think that's a great value, despite you having a television set and some people having home theaters. I mean, you got to look at kind of the bigger picture. Yeah, it kind of seems like the start of maybe the death of going to cinemas. But I don't know if I really think that coronavirus is going to last forever. Maybe, listen, even if it's just for another year, I don't think Hollywood's going anywhere.
Yeah, they're definitely not. But the issue with that is the people, they're still going to have that in their mind that they don't want to be too close just in case. So they're going to go ahead and just the problem is in the marketing and advertising, right? If they can get that down pat and to make sure that they let everybody know that this is happening and that folks like us aren't the only ones who know, then they're good. I know a lot of people sign up for Disney Plus just for The Mandalorian and then cancel their subscription. They don't care about the back catalog that Disney has. But what you got to do is you got to bring those people back so that when they use the app, and if they are frequent users, you're being started with advertisements. Theaters at home, $30, you keep it, and 4K. But also, when you're on YouTube, the same folks are on YouTube. Hopefully, they are also being advertised of this on those other channels. That way, they know, because if you think about the movie going experience, there's trailers, and a lot of times that's how people know about upcoming movies, through the trailer. And they're in the theater already, so they're a captive audience. And they're being shown the movie that seems exciting to them. In this case, say it was Mulan. They're being shown that film, the preview for it, that is, and the grand scale that it's meant to be seen. So they get even more excited for it and they look forward to seeing it. Right now, because we're 6 months removed from the first trailer of Mulan that released, or maybe even more than that. I don't remember a time where I saw the Mulan trailer in the theater. So I'm not that excited for it right now. So that's why I said this changeover from old world to new world. It's hard to it's going to be hard to make the transition for these films in this period, because how am I excited? Why am I excited for Mulan? Aside from the fact that I've got family that is of Asian descent, uh, of course they're gravitated towards it. So that's how I know about it, because they're excited for it and they were always looking forward to it and they're fans. But then extended family, I got to make that clear, because I know a lot of you are probably looking at me, well, he don't look Asian, he look Italian. But anyways, yeah, I know about it because of them, and we're gonna watch it at my theater, and it's gonna be worth $30. But the marketing and advertising going forward for these films has to be such that I know about a movie without having to be interested in the movie space, in the theater at home space. I have to be interested from at a viral level, right? I can just think of a couple of viral campaigns that have been out there in the wild for movies that did not involve me having to go to the theater to watch the preview for that movie to be excited for it. I remember The Dark Knight. Everybody, it's probably a bad example, but everybody knows that The Dark Knight was going to come out because of the ending of Batman Begins and all that stuff. But the viral marketing campaign for that on the internet, I Believe in Harvey Dent, or there were cards on the internet. What was the deal, Shane? I forgot what the exact. I know it was a good viral marketing campaign.
Yeah, it's good.
And it was such that you were questioning all. Well, what's that from? Is that a movie that's coming out? And then you'd be like, yeah. And then you get to the trailer that you watch online, and then your excitement level just built up slowly, in which you are looking forward to watching that film because it's new, whether it be in the theater or at home. You're excited to just see it. You want the payoff. That's why. So what I'm saying is there has to be a better buildup, because right now you're just telling me, oh, here you go. Here's Mulan for $30 at home. All right, well, where was the buildup for this then? Right? Was it all online? Was it all stuff that I had to seek out to find to say, oh, now I'm excited because I had to do this research? But no. It has to be viral. There has to be a viral approach to it to build up the excitement for the movie, to make me feel like I want to watch it no matter what the medium is, whether it be large scale at the theater or whether it be in my own home theater. That makes sense?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, because there has been too much marketing on this movie. Like even when it was coming to theaters, I never felt that they were pushing it that hard.
They weren't.
Yeah. Maybe because it's an Asian lead. Maybe because Asian movies just aren't that big. I don't know.
That's too bad because I
Yeah.
mean, to me, from what I've seen, it looks like it's got some Crouch the Tiger, Hidden Dragon elements to it.
Yeah.
Just a look, right? Just the scenery and just the action, stuff like that is what's giving me those vibes. The quality of the image. So
Yeah, it looks like it's definitely a high budget movie for sure. Like
exactly.
I think it's dropping sometime like September 1st or 4th or something like that. But I haven't like I said, man, they haven't been really pushing it that hard. I'm sure that we're going to see a bigger push in the next few days probably
Yeah,
coming up to it.
yeah,
But as far as like I get the reaction where it sucks that movies aren't going to come to theaters. But listen, they have like investors and all this in these movies, and the longer you wait to put these movies out, you have to pay like interest on top of things like that. They're borrowing money from banks and everything to produce these movies. So it's like the longer you sit on them, the more money you're kind of losing. So
yep,
I think like as far as if we're talking about like Mulan and Black Widow, this would be the safer bet to take the bigger hit because lately Marvel movies have been like billion-dollar hitters, and I don't think Mulan would ever hit $1 billion. Maybe like 800 million, 700 million. Who knows? It's probably gonna make a lot less now. So I think it's a safer bet that they take. I don't think they're gonna take a hit. I'm sure they'll make some of their money back. But as far as like keeping, holding off until whenever this pandemic ends, I think from a financial standpoint, if you think about it from where they're coming from, listen, this kind of makes more sense right now. And if the pandemic does continue to go on, then I think we will see big movies like Black Widow just come straight to streaming. And then if you look at it this way again, like if you don't buy these movies because you would rather have them come to theaters and you don't pay, the quality movies that we're gonna get in the future, if they go straight to streaming, it's gonna tank even more because like why invest another 200 million for another blockbuster Marvel movie or Disney movie? We might see something like quality like a CW movie or something like that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So like their investment, they're not going to get that much return on their investment. So quality is going to go down if you don't pay for these movies that are hitting streaming, as opposed to if you're holding off waiting on the theater.
Yeah, that's a good point. That if we don't support now, then the quality will keep going down.
Yeah,
I mean, unfortunately, that's true. And when it comes to the marketing of this stuff, that's one of the first things that goes in a lot of companies, nonprofits, and also for-profit companies like the film industry. Is that like if you don't have to do it, they don't do it. That's the marketing. But like that's essential. That's going to be really essential going forward, and it always has been, and it will continue to be essential nowadays because we're bombarded with advertisements. We're bombarded with all sorts of content that is fighting for our attention at home. We're all at home, and there's so much stuff that's fighting for our attention right now. And how do these companies fight through that in order to get our attention and get us to buy?
have you seen? Yeah, like Tony Stark says Artemis Fowl. Have you seen that? This was a semi big budget movie that was going to come to theaters, but then it came to Disney Plus instead. And when I watched it, I was excited because I was like, oh shit, this is supposed to come to theaters, so it must be pretty big. But then I watched it, and the quality was definitely like B level status. So I mean, if you want to continue to get movies like Artemis Fowl, then listen, I think you would kind of have to pony up the cash to let's just pay the $30, enjoy the movie at home. You own the movie. I don't see it a big of a deal. I was all for $100 for a 24-hour rental period, just as long as you got 4K Atmos the whole shebang. But $30 to own it, yo, that's an even better deal. And
That's a very
yeah,
good deal.
yeah. And listen, if we get like Warner Brothers doing this stuff too, and we just as long as we still get the quality like 4K Atmos, the same kind of audio quality that we get at the theaters, I still think it's a win that we get to watch it at our homes like day and date when it would have come out to the theaters. I mean, I don't think theaters are going to go away totally. Like, there's still going to be theaters open. Maybe they're going to be limiting people going in. I think we could still get like day and date at the theaters. Maybe like limited theaters will show Mulan. Limited theaters would show movies like Tenet. And then if we could still get it, like I would still pay $50, whatever, for Tenet to watch it at my house, just as long as it's 4K and Atmos.
Yeah, me too.
I think that's That's a safe bet. As long as it's day and date for those huge,
Yep.
huge movies like that.
Yeah.
I mean, going forward, I don't know. These are movies that were already kind of in the pipeline. That's already finished and done.
Yeah.
Whether we're gonna get movies like the Batman coming out in the future, or maybe Aquaman 2 or something, we're probably gonna see those hold off for later, get pushed back later and later in their production.
Yep.
But for the movies that are coming out now, No Time to Die, Black Widow, that stuff that would have already come out. Listen, I could see paying the $30, 40, $50 for it. Whether this is like the death knell for theaters, I don't think so. I think, everybody, America's still got to be a little bit patient. But in the meantime, I do think it's a fair deal, $30,
No, it
especially
definitely is.
because it's a family movie. Your kids are gonna watch this multiple times. You're gonna get
Yeah.
your money's worth. And listen, if you don't support it, then we will. If you don't support it, then we will get like shittier quality movies in the future. If we are gonna be in quarantine forever, that's just a fact. It's kind of like us making videos on YouTube. If you don't watch the videos, I would spend less time making videos, and then eventually I would just not make videos if nobody ever watched my videos. Same thing for big Hollywood studios. Obviously, it's on a grander scale, but if you don't support them, then quality is going to tank, and then we'll get less movies, and quality will be less as well.
Yeah. That's a good analogy right there.
Yeah,
And based on that analogy, I think the reason why there aren't many super chats coming in as of late is because people are saving up for these at-home releases. Wouldn't you agree?
yeah, I would say so. I would say so. But as far as but the question is, like, what do you guys out there think? Do you think $30 is a fair deal for a movie that would have come out at the theaters that you can watch at your house? Would you rather just hold off? Have Would you rather hold off watching it at the theaters, no matter how long it would take, or are you just gonna say screw it? Let me just pay that $30. I'm just gonna watch it at home with the fam. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment down below. And speaking of Disney, we have some new